This morning I woke up to very cold, and I'm sitting here contemplating whether or not I'm going to go to the gym. And I rarely do this. I'm usually at the gym every single day, whether I'm just going to stretch or do a little bit of walking on the treadmill. And today I'm contemplating, should I go? I woke up and it's cold. It's minus 12 and the wind chill is minus 36. Yes, I've been outside already. I had to take the dogs, and they're brave souls. They do their thing, and we walked down the block actually, but came back, and it's funny. I was thinking, what am I going to do this morning if I don't go to the gym? And so I said, I got to get busy. I got to start doing some learning. So I was listening to a podcast, and I was wondering to myself, why do people think that being sick is normal, that we have to live being sick the rest of our lives? I just can't get on board with thinking that. And then I got to listening to a podcast, and then my brain starts going, and I'm wondering about this metabolic syndrome. Why is it that we know about these markers? And let me just review with you the markers of metabolic syndrome. High blood sugar, high blood pressure, high triglycerides, high waist size, and low HDL. If we know about this, how long have doctors known about metabolic syndrome? So then I got to Googling, and I say, when was the first time we started recognizing metabolic syndrome as a thing? Because I remember talking about it to my patients back in around 1999, 2000. So I got digging, and the early origins of metabolic syndrome dates back to the 1920s to the 1970s. In fact, in 1923, there was a provider that said that there was a link between high blood pressure and high blood sugar. 1923. Upper body obesity became a marker in 1947. The specific term metabolic syndrome came to be noted in about 1975. Syndrome X, which I first heard about metabolic syndrome, they called it Syndrome X, was a breakthrough in 1988. It said that insulin resistance was a driver of high blood pressure and high blood sugar and high triglycerides. Insulin resistance, it was mentioned in 1988. High waist size became a part of the deadly quartet in 1989. In 2001, the NCEP, the National Cholesterol Education Program, released the first definition and established the current five markers of metabolic syndrome in 2001. You guys, it is 2026. Why aren't doctors talking about metabolic syndrome? So I went to the AI, Mr. AI, and I said, I just want, let's just be honest, AI. Why aren't doctors talking about metabolic syndrome? And the answers shocked me, yet they didn't. We know that the majority of the population has at least one of these markers. And the American Heart Association even says that 1 in 3 people have metabolic syndrome. The American Heart Association. The ones that have on their websites about eating certain amount of grains and all the fruits, these genetically modified fruits and certain vegetables where, so the American Heart Association. says 1 in 3 people have metabolic syndrome. So when I asked AI, why aren't doctors talking about it? The first one that pops up is there's a lack of a single magic pill. That's why doctors don't talk about it. Because medicine is structured around specific diagnoses that have specific drug treatments. Metabolic syndrome is 5 markers. There's no single magic pill. You would have to have a pill for your blood pressure, a pill for your blood sugar, a pill for your triglycerides, a pill for your waist size, a pill for your HDL. There's no single pill, so why are doctors going to talk about it? They've only been trained for a specific drug, for a specific diagnosis. The second one, the normal lab trap. You know, those reference ranges? The reference ranges, as I want to remind you, those reference ranges are an average of the population. Everybody that comes into the lab and gets their blood drawn, you are actually measuring yourself a bunch of sick people. The average population, 1 in 3, according to the American Heart Association, is sick with metabolic syndrome. That's sickness. That's a disease. In fact, it's multiple diseases. So the lab trap, that's why doctors aren't talking about it. How about this one? Time constraints. Doctors just don't have the time to spend with you. They're seeing 40 patients a day. They don't have time to talk about something that could take an hour. I spend an hour with patients, if not more, discussing their labs. It takes that long. How about this one? This one you all know. Education. Med schools do not teach obesity medicine. They rarely teach anything about nutrition, and if they did, it would be skewed toward what they want us to hear, which is follow the guidelines. Follow this. Whoever it was sponsored by. Lack of education. And this is an odd one, but now that I think about it, I'm going, heck yeah. Diagnostics. When you guys come into the office, we get certain vital signs, okay? Your blood pressure, your weight, your height, your pulse, your BMI, body mass index. There is no diagnostic on your medical chart for measuring waist size. So really, out of sight, out of mind. And I really, as a doctor, don't want to bring up the fact that you have a big belly. Why would I want to do that? I could easily talk about BMI because you guys have heard that. I say, hey, your BMI is like 30. And because of guidelines, I'm not telling you this. It's the guidelines telling you that over 30, you're obese. But if I actually get out my measuring tape, I might be causing something to offend you. And we don't want to do that as doctors. We don't want to tell you the truth that, hey, this is one of the markers of metabolic syndrome. Let's just leave that one out. I mean, hey, 1989, it was 1989 when waist size was added to the deadly quartet as the 5th marker of metabolic syndrome. You guys, I'm going to tell you the straight up truth. There's no such thing as having to be sick for the rest of your life. You do not have to be sick the rest of your life. You can make changes. Fix one of these markers at a time. But I guarantee you, there is 1 or 2 or 3 main ways to change all of those markers. And it doesn't include following any food pyramid. The new one, the old one, the in-between one, the My Plate, none of that. By simply lowering carbohydrates, getting in a state of ketosis, you can reverse all of these 5 metabolic markers. Now, if you want to have a consultation, go over your labs in depth, go over them, spend an hour. It's worth it. It's an investment in your health because you do not need to be sick the rest of your life. Email me at ironladydoc@aol.com and let's talk. let me help you, your doctor coach, give you some information that you can take back to your primary care. Let's be a team, okay? Have a great day. Stay warm. And I'll let you know what I decide on the workout today. See ya.